Good afternoon, everyone. We from Group 9 would like to present about bacterial resistant and present perfect progressive. The member include Mike, colleagues Dina Ramawati, and Dodi Setiawan. Here we will explain starting from conversation, reading, vocabulary, and exercise. Next, first there is a conversation which will be read by Cynthia as Miss P and Dina as the nurse. Good morning, nurse.
Good morning too. Is there anything I can do for you, ma'am?
Yes, I am looking for a schedule of Dr. Frank in this hospital.
Let me see the schedule first. Which one is Dr. Frank? That the hall on or the short one?
The tall one?
The tail one is her surgeon, ma'am.
Yes, that's right. He is a surgeon
Well, ma'am, Dr. Frank's schedule is a Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
in the morning or in the afternoon, nurse.
For Monday and Saturday, his clinical hours is at 9 to 11 in the morning.
I see. And by the way, where is Dr. Frank's room?
Dr. Frank room is on the third floor, room number 3.
Thanks.
Problem. Okay, the next I will reading about bacterial resistance. Since the introduction of antibiotics into clinical use 15 years ago, there have been dramatic changes in the practice of medicine. Although antibiotics cure many infection diseases, the widespread use of antibiotics has also resulted in changes in pathogens. Not only have rare pathogens emerged, but common pathogens have also become more and more resistant to the antibiotics currently in us. Penicillin, ampicillin, and macrolide antimicrobial are important and commonly used antibiotics for primary care of patients with infection. The appearance and increase in resistance of bacteria to these agents are clearly due to the indiscriminate use of these agents with resultant uncontrolled spreading of resistant strains. Apicendati is not only to cure patients but also to prevent the appearance and rapid increase of antibacterial resistant microorganisms. The most important measure we can take to prevent the appearance and subsequent increase of antibiotic resistance is to use antibiotics more discriminately. Untuk selanjutnya, bacterial resistance terdiri sejak diperkenalkannya antibiotik ke dalam penggunaan klinis sejak 50 tahun yang lalu, telah terjadi perubahan dramatis dalam praktik kedokteran. Meskipun antibiotik menyembuhkan banyak penyakit menular, penggunaan antibiotik secara luas juga mengakibatkan perubahan pada patogen. Tidak hanya patogen langka yang muncul, tetapi patogen umum juga telah muncul, menjadi semakin kebal terhadap antibiotik yang digunakan pada saat ini. Misalnya ada penisilin, ampicillin, dan antimikrobam makrolida merupakan antibiotik yang penting dan umum digunakan untuk perawatan primer pada pasien yang mengalami infeksi. Munculnya dan meningkatnya resistensi bakteri terhadap agen-agen ini jelas disebabkan oleh penggunaan agen-agen secara sembarangan yang dapat mengakibatkan penyebaran strain resistensi yang tidak terkendali. Tugas seorang dokter bukan hanya untuk menyembuhkan pasien, tetapi juga untuk mencegah munculnya dan peningkatan cepat mikroorganisme pada resisten terhadap antibakteri. Langkah terpenting yang dapat kita ambil untuk mencegah munculnya dan peningkatan resisten antibiotik selanjutnya adalah dengan menggunakan antibiotik secara lebih selektif lagi. The next slide will be read by Mr. Dodi.
Okay, next. In next, I will explain about mistake easily made by physician in prescribing antibiotic. Number one, using antibiotic in all febrile patient. Number two, patient with many medical problems other than bacterial infection have elevated body temperature. Number three, it is not uncommon for patients with acute myocardial infarction or cerebral hemorrhage present with high body temperature and mild action. Next. In next, I will explain about kesalahan yang sering dilakukan dokter dalam melaksanakan antibiotik. No, satu, menggunakan antibiotik pada semua pasien yang mengalami demam. Dua, pasien dengan banyak masalah medis selain infeksi bakteri memiliki suhu tubuh yang tinggi dan pendarahan otak mengalami. Tiga, tidak jarang mengalami mikrot akut atau pendarahan otak mengalami suhu tubuh tinggi dan leukisitosis ringan. Next. Next. In the most common is that the most common is the gut upper reference tract atau URT infection. Physically 10 out to us antibiotic in with URT infection using antibiotic to prevent infection in many unnecessary situations. I typical explain here is Tuberculosis include what operation effort what defend inflation many suggestion still use antibiotic for surgical prophylaxis in plain word operation.
Next, using never
Next.
antibiotic instead of traditional first line called ACE as antibiotic without considering whether or not the patient really has an infection. Another common situation involves patients with autoimmune disease. These patients they to have a febrile response. In managing such patients, a common approach might involve the prescribing of antibiotic. Using antibiotic is patients with non-bacterial infection. Here, the most common situation is that of viral upper respiratory tract or URT infection. Difficult to use antibiotic in patients with URT infection. Using antibiotic to prevent infection in many unnecessary situations. A typical example here is surgical prophylaxis in a clean ward operation even without device inflation. Many surgeons still use antibiotic for surgical prophylaxis in clean ward operation. Next. Pengertiannya, situasi yang paling umum adalah infeksi virus saluran pernafasan atau URT. Dokter cenderung menggunakan antibiotik pada pasien dengan infeksi URT. Menggunakan antibiotik untuk mencegah infeksi dalam banyak situasi yang tidak perlu. Contoh tipikal di sini adalah profilaksi bedah pada operasi luka bersih. Bahkan tanpa implantasi alat, banyak ahli bedah yang masih menggunakan antibiotik untuk profilaksi bedah pada operasi luka bersih. Menggunakan antibiotik yang lebih baru daripada obat tradisional lini pertama. Setelah antibiotik baru diluncurkan, perusahaan farmasi memulai kampanye promosi untuk membujuk dokter agar menggunakan antibiotik baru. Bukan hal yang aneh bagi dokter untuk menggunakan antibiotik baru ini dengan keyakinan bahwa antibiotik tersebut lebih baik daripada antibiotik tradisional. Dalam situasi ini, resistensi bakteri terhadap antibiotik baru dapat terjadi dengan cara yang sama seperti terhadap obat tradisional yang lama. The next. Next vocabulary. Antibiotik, bakterial bakteri, widespread, menyebar luas, resisten perlawanan, hemorrhage, pendarahan, infeksi, disease, penyakit, prevent, mencegah, implantation, penanaman, eradicate, memberantas, suffice, cukup, treatment, perawatan. Next, I will be read by Mr. Dodi.
Present perfect progressive. Present perfect progressive, also known as the present perfect continuous tense in compressor, all sentence that injection and even all action that start in the past and continues in the present moment. And event occurs all action in the present perfect continuous tense, present perfect progressive as a question period of time and still relate to the event occurrence or action that is still ongoing until now. Next. Pengertian present perfect progressive juga dikenal sebagai bentuk present perfect continuous tense adalah ungkapan atau kalimat yang menunjukkan suatu peristiwa atau tindakan dimulai di masa lalu dan berlanjut pada saat ini. Suatu peristiwa, kejadian atau tindakan pada present perfect continuous tense atau present perfect progressive memiliki jangka waktu tertentu dan masih berhubungan dengan peristiwa, kejadian atau tindakan yang masih berlangsung sampai dengan sekarang. Next.
Selanjutnya ada formula present perfect progressive, di mana untuk kalimat positifnya ada subjek plus have atau has plus been plus verb ing. Untuk kalimat negatifnya ada subjek plus have atau has plus not plus been plus verb ing. Dan untuk kalimat interrogatifnya ada have atau has plus subjek plus been plus verb ing plus tanda tanya. Untuk subjeknya jika menggunakan have menggunakan Ayu Dewi, dan jika menggunakan has itu subjeknya he she it. Untuk contoh kalimat dari kalimat positifnya ini ada I have been studying for 3 hours. Saya sudah belajar selama 3 jam. Dan untuk kalimat negatifnya ada I have not been studying for 3 hours. Saya tidak belajar selama 3 jam. Dan untuk kalimat interrogatifnya ada have I been studying for 3 hours. Apakah saya sudah belajar selama 3 jam? Untuk selanjutnya ada exercise. Exercise pertama ada yang mau menjawab?
Ya, Kak.
Boleh, Kak?
Ya. What is the main idea of paragraph 1? Although antibiotics cure many infectious diseases, the widespread use of antibiotics has also resulted in change in pathogens. Not only have rare pathogens emerged, but common pathogens have also become more and more resistant to the antibiotics currently in use. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Kak. Nomor 2 ada yang mau jawab?
Aku jawab nomor 2.
Boleh, Kak.
Jawabannya, penicillin is a type of antibiotic derived from the penicillin.
Maaf, share screen-nya udah kelihatan belum ya, Kak?
Udah, Pau. Cuman gedein dikit, Pau.
Oke, oke. Oke. Udah bisa dimulai, Mister?
Come on.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for your giving to our group presentation today on the theme of obesity and heart disease and present future progressive. Before starting, I would like to introduce my group, which consists of Aisyah Tulatipa, Fauzi Zahra Putri, and Gustiar Widiantara. So here are 6 content for presentation. The first, conversation, reading obesity and heart disease, vocabulary, present, future, progressive, grammar, and exercise. In this conversation, Gusti play as nutritionist and Aisyah as patient.
Could you help me?
Share channel, what can I do for you?
I am having a problem with my weight. I think I can call me a big giant.
How much do you weigh?
It's more than 100 kilograms. What should I do to lose?
Okay, it's not easy to lose some weight in a short way. What have you do to lose it?
I have taken some pills on doctor advice, but is working.
Pills are harmful, even though pills can lose some weight in a short way, but your weight will gain again if you stop taking them, and also they are not good for your body.
So what do you suggest for me?
Nothing is impossible in this world. I'd like to give you some advice and hopefully it's work for you. Please do exercise every day around 30 minutes. Eat less food and junk food. You only eat rice once a day for lunch. Remember to eat fruit and vegetables for your meal.
Sure, it
Of course, don't forget to keep hunger, and if you feel very hungry, you only eat fruit and vegetables.
Thank you for your advice, Doc.
Okay, next. Well, next theme is obesity and heart. Well, next the content is obesity and heart disease, which my colleague will explain in by Aisyah.
Thank you. Perception of fat and thin can change with the time. For an object view, doctor use a measure called body mass in BMI and BMI. 5 foot 10-inch person who 175 pounds has a BMI of 25. The limit for a healthy body. An extra 30 pounds would push him or her to a BMI of 30, a number that signals a serious weight problem. At 145 pounds, the person would reach a BMI of 35 and would be considered extremely obese. The biggest source of the BMI measurement is that it can distinguish fat from muscle. Next, pendahuluan yaitu persepsi tentang gemuk dan kurus dapat berubah seiring waktu untuk pandangan yang objektif. Dokter menggunakan ukuran yang disebut indeks massa tubuh. Seseorang dengan tinggi 5 kaki 10 inci yang beratnya 175 pon memiliki BMI 25 yang secara umum dianggap sebagai batas atas untuk tubuh yang sehat. Tambahan 30 pon akan mendorongnya ke BMI 30, angka yang menandakan masalah berat badan yang serius. Pada berat 245 pon, orang tersebut akan mengalami BMI 35 dan akan dianggap sangat gemuk. Kelemahan terbesar dari pengukuran BMI adalah tidak dapat membedakan lemak dari otot. Next. Excess body fat can set off cascade of other changes in the body that rise the risk of heart trouble. Extra fat in the body can also lead to extra fat in the blood. Overweight people often have high level of artery, clogging LDL cholesterol. Many people are overweight because they eat high-fat diets and shouldn't exercise. Many studies have cited the number of premature deaths due to complications from being overweight, such diabetes and hypertension. If you shed some pounds and rein in your blood pressure and cholesterol, you've done your heart a big favor. Next. Kelebihan lemak tubuh dapat memicu serangkaian perubahan lain dalam tubuh yang meningkatkan resiko masalah jantung. Kelebihan lemak dalam tubuh juga dapat menyebabkan bertambahnya lemak dalam darah. Orang yang berkelebihan berat badan seringkali memiliki kadar kolesterol LDL yang tinggi sehingga menyumbat arteri. Banyak orang yang kelebihan berat badan karena mengkonsumsi makanan tinggi lemak dan menghindari olahraga. Banyak penelitian menyebutkan banyaknya kematian dini akibat komplikasi kelebihan berat badan, seperti diabetes dan hipertensi. Jika Anda menurunkan berat badan dan mengendalikan tekanan darah dan kolesterol, Anda telah memberi manfaat besar bagi jantung Anda. Over the past 14 years, there has been a marked rise in obesity in the United States. which experts associate in large part with overeating, a rise in fast food consumption, and a sedentary lifestyle in which many Americans do little more than walk to and from their car. Today's nearly 34% of American adult are considered obese. That is, they have a BMI over 30. That's a lot of people with a higher than normal risk of developing heart disease. An extra large body needs an extra large amount of blood. When you gain weight, your heart has to pump more blood than it did before. Instead of beating more often, the heart growing slightly large so it can move more blood with each beat. Next. Selama 40 tahun terakhir, terjadi peningkatan tajam dalam obesitas di Amerika Serikat. Oleh para ahli, dikaitkan sebagian besar dengan makanan berlebihan, peningkatan konsumsi makanan cepat saji, dan gaya hidup yang tidak banyak bergerak, di mana banyak orang Amerika hanya berjalan kaki ke dan dari mobil mereka. Saat ini, hampir 34% orang dewasa Amerika dianggap obesitas. Dengan kata lain, mereka memiliki BMI lebih dari 30. Itu berarti banyak orang dengan resiko lebih tinggi dari biasanya untuk terkena penyakit jantung. Tubuh yang ekstra besar membutuhkan jumlah darah yang ekstra besar. Ketika berat badan bertambah, jantung harus memompa lebih banyak darah dari sebelumnya. Alih-alih berdetak lebih sering, jantung membesar sedikit sehingga dapat mengalirkan lebih banyak darah setiap kali berdetak. Next.
Okay, the next slide will be read by Gusti.
Study of nearly 116,000 nurses published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that moderately overweight women BMI between 25 and 29.9 were twice as likely as slender women BMI less than 21 to develop coronary heart disease for women with a BMI over 29. The risk nearly quadrupled. In addition, research by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute had more evidence that extra weight is bad for your health. In a study of over 5,000 participants, the risk of heart failure in reset what is additional point of a participant BMI about 4 to 8 points. In general, researchers found that the risk of heart failure was 34%. Hyper or overweight individual and 104%. high care for people classified as obese. Next, Kak. Sebuah studi terhadap hampir 100.000 perawat yang diterbitkan dalam Journal of the American Medical Association menemukan bahwa wanita yang kelebihan berat badan sedang BMI antara 25 dan 28,9, 2 kali lebih mungkin terkena penyakit jantung koroner dibandingkan wanita yang ramping. BMI kurang dari 21. Bagi wanita dengan BMI lebih dari 29, risikonya hampir 4 kali lipat. Selain itu, penelitian oleh National Health Lung and Blood Institute menambahkan lebih banyak bukti bahwa berat badan ekstra tidak baik untuk kesehatan jantung Anda. Dalam sebuah penelitian yang melibatkan lebih dari 5.000 peserta, risiko gagal jantung meningkat dengan setiap poin tambahan pada BMI peserta, sekitar 4 hingga 8 poin. Secara umum, para peneliti menemukan bahwa risiko gagal jantung adalah 34% lebih tinggi untuk individu yang kelebihan berat badan dan 104% lebih tinggi untuk orang yang tergolong obesitas. Next, Kak. Vocabulary. Food consumption, konsumsi makanan. Heart failure, gagal jantung. Distinguish, membedakan. Muscles, otot. Coronary, koroner. Obesity, obesitas. Evidence, bukti. Sedentary, menetap. Lifestyle, gaya hidup. Merely, hanya. Congestive. Pregnancy, kehamilan. Genet, memperoleh. Hypertensi.
Okay, the next content, present, future, progressive. Present, future, progressive tense or future continuous tense is a form of verb used to express event that will take place at some time in the future with specific time information. It can also be used as a form of polite or formal question which aims to ask about the person's intention or plans. Present future progressive tense atau future continuous tense adalah bentuk kata kerja yang digunakan untuk menyatakan kejadian yang akan sedang berlangsung pada suatu waktu di masa yang akan datang dengan keterangan waktu yang spesifik. Juga dapat digunakan sebagai bentuk pertanyaan sopan atau formal yang bertujuan untuk menanyakan niat atau rencana dari orang tersebut. And the next slide, formula future progressive tense. The first, positive tense, the formula subject plus will or shall plus be plus present participle verb ing plus complement. As seen in the following table are example of positive sentence. Will by used subject is I, you, we, they, she, he, it, and shall use the subject I and we. An example, we shall be making a delicious cake this Saturday night, and he will be staying at the shop at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Next, the second negative tense formula is subject plus will or shall plus not plus be plus present participle verb ing plus complement. An example, she won't be eating at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. and we shall be eating at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. And last interrogative sentence, the formula is will or shall plus subject plus be plus present participle verb ing plus complement. An example, will they be eating pizza at 6 o'clock tonight? And shall we be having dinner at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening?